What's going to happen with his tongue? It's going to be blocking the airway, right? The tongue is going to fall back. Yeah. So the patient can't really breathe, and I can't assess if this patient's breathing. There's no air to move. Yeah. So if I come down here and I check to see is it breathing, I can't because it's open. So what do I have to do first? I have to. Got to. Number one. And of course we do that with the head-filching mist. Not the next thing that we saw before, but we do that then. That opens that. What does it do? Lifts the tongue up. Now I can check to see if there's patient's breathing. If he's not breathing, I want to give him a couple of breaths, don't I? So let's give him a breath. Well, I open my airway and give him a breath. If I don't open my airway, then what's that chest? Doesn't move. There's the example. You've got to open the airway. And I'll be hitting this home with you all the time today. Every time you give a breath, you've got to open the airway. Every time you assess a patient that's breathing, you've got to open the airway. Always comes first. Then good. Now, if this patient has an obstruction, I don't know, I just come into this patient. Maybe he swallowed some food, got stuck, went unconscious. How will I know? What's the difference? How will I know that this patient has an obstruction as opposed to maybe a cardiac heart attack?
No air, no, chest not moving.
The air won't go. I do my airway opening, and I go, it doesn't go in. Why it doesn't go in? Because I've got a blockage. So I'll try again, let's try again. It doesn't go in, so I have a blockage. Now I can say, I still don't know if his heart stops. I don't care if his heart stops. It doesn't matter right now. What I've got to get out is this blockage, right? So anyway, so let's breathe. So the thing I'm getting at is you have to go down here systematically. You've got to do A first, you've got to do B next, and then you've got to do C. If you don't do B, you cannot worry about pulse or circulation. It doesn't matter. And if you think about this, it's true. If you don't get this, most of the time, what's going to be a problem with kids? It's going to be putting something in his mouth, stops breathing, heart stops. That's when you kind of get that problem. So the most common cause of a cardiac arrest in children and infants are respiratory arrest, where they put something in their mouth. No, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can't hear me. I call for help. That's actually not there. It should be there. I call for help. I did tell you to do that first, didn't I? Get the crash guard in here. Call 2222. Get a crash guard in here. I check for breathing. And how long do I check for breathing, guys? Well, they didn't say literature anymore, I guess. Don't want to try. How many seconds you think? 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Yeah. So he's not breathing. So let's give a couple of breaths. Well, if it goes in, wonderful. I can now check circulation and pulse. If it doesn't go in, smooth that up. Oops, let's reposition. Still doesn't go in. Well, now I've got to pop that out and let's go and do some, do that. So that's what we kind of do. So if you notice, all we're doing, what I just did there is I went down, I stopped the breathing till we fix breathing, and then we move on. So that's what we do. There's our skills. And it doesn't go in. Well, I reposition, make sure it's open, and try again. Reposition. Now, how do we reposition? We don't turn the head sideways. Airway is this. Okay? So we just make sure that it's open. And if you think about your practice just now, didn't I come around to a couple of you and say, open your airway more? Because you just got to make sure it's open, you see. So that's what we practice on this one. It's nice and safe. Hey, sir, can you hear me? Are you awake? Can you hear me? Are you awake? Sir, not awake. Can you call 999 and tell me you have an unconscious adult? Come back and help me. Okay? Or air into them. And when you blow air into them, even though you open your airway, it goes into the stomach. So there's a good chance that the patient will vomit, especially if they've had a heavy meal. It's going to lead to heart attack. If you Nazi, you could go ahead and lean over. Keep your arms straight. Straighten your arms. Straighten your arms. Go ahead and try once. It doesn't work. Doing this. That's all I'm doing. And that's why I keep your arms straight. If my arms are bent, again, you can do it hard for you because this is tight, but that's okay. Get the idea. Put it on the sternum, not on the side. And the idea then is you need to put your other hand on top, and you need to pull the fingers up. So you've got your sternum on. Okay. Now hold your hands in that position right now. Okay.